I haven't seen my children or spent time with them in months. Every time she feel like she get an attitude with me, she cuts off all communication with me and she don't even let me talk to them. You get what you want and I get nothing.
Sir, that is your interpretation.
It is. It's the truth. I just want to spend time with my children. I've came there several times. That time in particular that she called the police, we already agreed for me to get them.
So the parties have agreed that current child support to be set at the amount of $580 beginning December 1st of 2024. The parties agree that medical support to be set at $157 beginning December 1st, 2024. Do you agree to these two amounts, Mr. James?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree to these two amounts, Ms. Arsenault?
Yes.
But is that guidelines?
Yes, it is guidelines, and I can, I was gonna have Ms. Fleeton,
If they agree, I don't know that you need testimony on that.
okay.
Mr. Hernandez.
Okay, I only need her to testify to her calculations of retroactive child support. That's a contested issue. Do you want me to have her go first? And
So those are the only agreements?
those are the only agreements, Your Honor.
It is up to you how you want to proceed with
Okay. May I call Ms. Young Fleeton to testify at this time?
Yes, Ms. Young Fleeton, can you state your full name for the record?
Tosionia Young Fleeton.
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you may lower your hand and you may proceed, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you. Ms. Young Fleeton,
I'm sorry.
where do you work?
The Office of the Attorney General,
And how long have you worked there?
17 years.
And what are your job descriptions and duties?
Calculate child support, medical support, and dental support, and retroactive child support, medical support, and dental support.
Did you have a chance to personally review the file for this case?
Yes.
And did you go over the information you have regarding finances with both parents in this case?
Yes.
I have a document which is marked States Exhibit A, and it has been exchanged with all the parties. Could you identify States Exhibit A?
That's my calculation for retro child support judgment.
And did you create this in the usual course of business of the Attorney General's office?
Yes, I did.
And did you maintain it and sign it in the usual course of your business?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may we offer in States Exhibit A, the retroactive child support calculation sheet as States Exhibit A?
Does anyone have any objection to me admitting States Exhibit A into evidence? Mr. James?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Arsenault?
No.
It is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Young Fleeton, what was your calculations and conclusion regarding an amount for retroactive child support in this case?
Retroactive child support begins with the birth date of the youngest child. For 2020, minimum wage, $12.56.67, $11.38.21, net at 20.63%, monthly support amount $235 for 8 months, for a total of $1,880. For 2021, also at minimum wage, $12.56.67 gross, $11.39.46 net, for a percentage of 20.63, for a total of $235 a month, for 12 months, for a total of $2,820. For 2022, gross $76.44, net $59.85, for 20.63%, for a monthly amount of $1,235 for 12 months, for a total of $14,820. For 2023, gross $59.57, net $48.31, for 20.63%, for a total of $997 a month, for 12 months, for a total of $11,964. For 2024, 2305 gross, 1921 net at 20.63%, for $396 for 6 months, for a total of $2,376. Also for 2024, $34.88 gross, $29.67.95 net for 20.63%, for a total of $612 a month for 5 months, for a total of $3,060, for a final total of $36,920. I did give Mr. James credit for 2 other children that he pays child support for in the state of Louisiana.
All right, and if the court was to grant a judgment in this amount, what amount of monthly payout is the state requesting towards that amount?
$235 beginning December 1st of 2024.
All right, thank you. Pass the witness.
Okay, you may, actually, Mr. James, do you have any questions for Ms. Young-Clayton?
Not really. I thought we were just supposed to discuss whether that would be retroactive or not. I don't know where we go with this.
Well, this is court, so we typically take testimony in court, where parties can call witnesses. Anyone's capable of calling witnesses. We start with the AG's office, and usually the person calling the witness asks questions first, and then everybody gets a chance to ask questions. So it's your turn if you have any questions for Ms. Young-Clayton, and then I bet they're going to call one of you as a witness next, and then whoever has not been called will probably be the last witness of theirs. So
Yes,
this is, if you have any questions for Ms. Young-Clayton, this is your time to ask them.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay. And Ms. Arsenault, do you have any questions for Ms. Young-Clayton?
No, ma'am.
You may call your next witness, Ms. Hernandez.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I'll call Miss Arsenault. Miss Arsenault, how old are your children and what are their names?
Nevaeh Marie James is 7 years old. Zuri Rose James is 4 years old.
And how long, let me rephrase, where do they live?
They live with me
And how long have they lived with you?
all their lives.
What county are you in, ma'am?
Galveston,
Okay. And you've, how long have you lived in Galveston County?
I've been back in Galveston County since 2016.
All right. Now, are you in agreement or disagreement with the amount of proposed retroactive child support in this case?
Agreement.
Did Mr. James provide any, let me rephrase, you and Mr. James were married in 2018, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was September 1st, 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
And did y'all separate on or about November 7th of 2019?
It wasn't actually a separation. He just left. Said he was
Okay.
said he was going to work and
Okay, so in November of 2019, Mr. James left the marital home, is that correct?
yes, with my actual vehicle.
I'm
All
sorry,
right,
can you hear that, ma'am? With your what?
With my physical vehicle, that was in my
Okay.
name.
Okay.
all right, now, and neither party has obtained a divorce, is that correct?
No, I attempted to, but he would never show up, and my lawyer told me he had to be present.
All right, now, from the time he left approximately November 2019 till today, did he provide any financial support for the children to you?
Buying material things like tennis shoes for school, gave a birthday for Vea, and
Okay, so listen to my question.
okay,
Did he provide money, cash, money, financial support to you for the children?
no, maybe $100, but I would have to look at my cash app to say exactly the number. But it's
Okay,
not enough for the actual everyday life. No.
all right. Now, how often does he visit the children?
It was beginning to be kind of every other weekend or every month, but it slacked back off again. Before 2020, the whole year of 2020, he only came when Zuri, the baby at the time, was only 8 weeks old because I fell ill, and then he didn't come back again until 21.
Okay,
And
so
so
when's the last time he saw the children?
he saw the children when he came in town when November, September.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in the last 2 years, has there been any type of violence, threats, or
It's been threats. He's threatened to keep them away from me when I did let them go. He actually told me he wished I died. It's been the physical, the verbal threat.
all right. Now, are you asking the court to name you as the parent,
ma'am.
a managing conservator with the right to designate the residence of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking that Mr. James be a managing conservator with some rights to possession and access or visitation?
Modified visitation to begin with, and we can go from there.
And
So what kind of conservator is she asking for? I don't think she answered that.
managing conservator?
No, ma'am.
Right, no, for you, you want to be the
I want to
primary,
be the full, yes.
the managing
primary.
conservator with the right to
Primary.
designate. Hey, listen to my question. You want to be do you want to be the managing conservator with the right to designate the residence of the children in Galveston County?
Yes, ma'am. I want to be a yes.
Okay, and are you asking that Mr. James be a conservator with the right to visitation or possession and access?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you say modified visits, what type of modified visits do you want Mr. James to have?
I would like to start with like something simple where they just visit first until they are comfortable. Over
I think I couldn't hear that. Something simple, and then I didn't hear the next sentence.
from what I was proposed was saying one Saturday they spend a whole day up until gradually trying for overnights where they're comfortable. Yeah, I have documentation on what the girls have told me some of the times I have let them go.
And what is that?
Okay, so in May 26th of 2023, I let them go. My oldest said that they were left at home alone so he can go hang out with his friends. And at that time, she was only 6. In July, he actually went to jail, and I had no clue until they came back playing, go to jail, put your hands behind your back. And I asked them, where did that come from? And they told me the daddy went to jail. He says that they didn't see him go to jail, but I don't know where they got the play, put your hands behind your back.
Sorry, when you said July, was that July of 24 or 23?
June of 23. July 21st, 2023, I allowed the girls to go. That same night, he was at the club. Somewhere in between that time, before August the 2nd, when instead of him bringing them back, I had to go meet him and had to end up going all the way to Beaumont to meet him to get them back. And it was a late Monday night, and we had to get ready for school the next day.
Okay, where does Mr. James live?
In Denham Springs, Louisiana.
And how far is that from Galveston County, if you know?
GPS says 4 hours and 34 minutes.
All right. And to start off with these visitations, like you say, modified, do you want them to be in Galveston County?
Preferably.
All right. Do you want them to be, I don't know if the word supervisor in your presence? Do you want them to be at a public place or?
A public place.
All right. And are you comfortable exchanging the children at your home, or do you want a neutral location?
A neutral location.
All right. Now, are you comfortable with the restriction of Galveston County, or do you want?
No, I'm not.
Do you want no restriction or restriction to Galveston in any county that touches Galveston in case you need to move?
Okay, that's another part. I'm not comfortable having to stay in Galveston County. But I'm okay with them going to Harris County right here, somewhere local to where it's accessible for me.
I'm not
Okay.
sure if we're talking about the same thing.
No, what I mean for you, ma'am, do you want the right to be able to move with the children to Galveston or any county that
I want to
touches?
be able to move. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. In case, right, if you
Okay,
need
yeah.
to, okay, so that's what I'm saying. Are you comfortable if you needed that you're not just restricted to Galveston County, if you wanted to move to Harris County or?
I want to be able to move wherever I want to, because like he did, he moved to another state. I would like to try to move eventually.
Okay. So you want no geographic restriction or?
No geographic restriction.
Okay.
And ma'am, the parts of your sentences or what you're saying always gets muffled. I don't know if you're speaking
Okay.
less at the end but I'm not hearing everything you're saying.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're aware.
Now, I know you said you're comfortable meeting him at a neutral location to exchange the children. Are you asking for a non-disclosure of your private residence, address, email, and contact information from an order?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to order the use of an app called App Close, where the two of you communicate about the children through that app, and
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
free? Okay, and then and what other reasons do you have for wanting a non-disclosure of your the private contact information and address from an order?
Because of the personal threats, and when I did tell him not to come, he showed up at my house anyways.
When was all
Okay.
this? Can you get some time frames, Ms. Hernandez?
Yes, when did he show up at your residence
That
without you?
was last year in November, when I was gonna let them go, and then he got verbally aggressive with me over the phone. So I told him that's okay, they will not leave, because I didn't feel comfortable, because in September is when he told me he wasn't gonna bring them back. He's always saying that he can do better, the girls can stay with him, and that other and other stuff. But
Ms. Hernandez, this is like a narrative. Can you like break it down so I can follow it better?
so November, he told me he was gonna come. He got verbally aggressive over the phone. So I said, that's okay. We'll just wait for the courts to take over, because by that time I had already filed. So I was just waiting for the courts to take over to find out, get court orders in place because of him threatening not to bring them back in September. So I told him, don't show up. It's in verbal writing saying, don't come, I'll call the police. And he showed up anyways.
Did you call the police?
I did.
And what happened when the police came?
He tried to go back and forth with the cop and told the cop that I said this, and the cop seen the text messages, seen his text messages and mine also, and said that I did say he could not come get the kids. And my aunt pulled up, he got into a verbal with her, so she ended up putting an no trespassing order on him on the home.
All right, and
Does he still have that?
I don't know. I since then we had tried to make it work again, and don't know what happened yet again, and now we're back here this way.
okay, do you I'm sorry, do you think it would be best to exchange the children at like a local police station, or are you
I would
comfortable?
prefer it for my safety.
Okay, I don't know, I'm not asking for where you live. Do you would a police station like in League City or Texas City or Dickinson, is there a particular one that would
No preference. No preference.
okay.
But ma'am, keep in mind, if you say no preference, you're leaving it to me, and I literally do not know where you live.
Oh, I live in Galveston.
So I
I
have
live right
nothing
here
to
in
base
Texas
this
City.
on.
Right now he knows where I live, so I'm okay. It's in Texas City. I stay in Texas City right now, so West Texas City to be exact.
Okay, so any of the police stations in Texas City would be fine?
Yes.
Okay, I'd have to look them up as well. Okay, pass this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
At this time, I will call Mr. James to testify.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. James, where do you live?
I live in Denham Springs, Louisiana.
And do you know how far that is from Texas City, Galveston?
4.5 hours.
And how long have you lived there?
2 years.
Is it a house or an apartment?
House.
And who else lives with you?
Me and my mom.
All right. And how many bedrooms is there?
5.
Okay. Now, when's the last time you saw the children?
August
Of this year?
of this year.
All right, and how was that visit?
It was fine. She called me. I went down to help her purchase the vehicle. So I went to go take a look for a car.
Okay, so objection
was-
unresponsive. How was the visit with the children?
Oh,
Did
it was great. Yeah.
Did you have them for like 3 days? Did you have them for 4 hours? How long did you have the children?
I was working, so I only had them for like a day. But the last time that I actually had them, it's been since uh last September, since I've just had them.
Okay, of 23?
September of 23. Yes.
And when you say you had them, was that like 3 days or something?
I had them for like 4 days.
All right. Now, where do you want to exchange possession of the children?
The Texas state line.
So is that Beaumont? Is that Lake Charles?
That's Orange, Texas.
Okay, is Orange, I'm not familiar. Is Orange, is that a county or is there a town there?
I think it may be Orange County. I don't know exactly, but I know the city is Orange.
Okay, and do you know if there's a local police station or someplace neutral there?
It's a rest area. I don't want to exchange my kids in no police station. I don't want to
Okay.
create that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. Now, so your preference would be the rest area in Orange, Texas.
Yes.
And are you in agreement or disagreement with Miss Arsenault, the mom, having the right to designate the residence of the children?
You mean where they live?
Yes.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so you're okay with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now, are you asking to be joint conservatorship with Miss Arsenault? Or are you okay with her being like managing conservator and you're the possessory conservator with rights to visit and visitation and, you know, knowledge of school activities?
I mean, so like the managing, that's like where they live and who, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
that's
reason,
fine.
okay, because y'all are far apart and I don't want
Okay.
either parent to try and look for the other parent if there's a medical emergency. That's one reason I'm asking.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're fine with that.
Uh-huh.
You're fine with mom being managing conservator and you're a possessory conservator?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, are you in agreement or disagreement with the non-disclosure of Ms. Arsenault's physical address, email, and contact information being kept out of an order?
I'm in disagreement with part of it. I don't need her contact. I mean, I'm in disagreement because I want to know where my kids live. You know, anything may happen. I'm in disagreement with that.
And would you be in agreement or disagreement with using the free app called AppClose, where y'all could communicate about the children and upload school documents, things like that?
I'm in agreement with that, but I also want to have, if I have to go purchase another iPad or a phone or something, I want to be able to call my children. I don't want to talk to my kids to no app. You know what I'm saying?
No, this is for the parents to communicate. This is
Okay.
so,
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's
yeah,
fine.
you can't block each other. It's
Well,
different.
but this is a 4 and a 7-year-old, so I'm guessing they don't have devices, or I don't know if they have a home
They-
phone.
They do.
Which
They do.
your 4 and 7-year-old have their own phones?
They have their own devices.
What kind of devices?
iPads.
And they can talk to you on those?
Yeah. I can FaceTime.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to grant FaceTime with the children like once a week or some point during the week?
Once, I mean, I want to talk to my kids every day, you know, if it's only for a little while. So,
Okay, so you're asking the court to grant reasonable time.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll leave that to the court. Now, I'm sorry, are you,
It needs to be addressed in the court order? Because these courtrooms are not designed to, deal with every little issue that comes up, and it sounds like there's a lot of issues here.
Right. Well, I'll rephrase. Mr. James, have you been able to communicate with FaceTime with the children on their devices?
No, ma'am.
So,
She
Are
hasn't
you
let me talk over about what 2 months now.
okay, so are you asking, I'm just gonna guess, like, every Thursday from like 7 to 7:30, you can speak to the children on their devices?
I want to talk to my kids every day, not
Okay,
every
that's
third.
not what I'm asking. I'm asking you to narrow it down. If y'all agree to more, that's fine. But we need some idea. Do you want like Tuesday and Thursday? Do you want Saturday
That's
and
fine.
Wednesday?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, because I don't know your work schedule. So like Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 7:30?
That's fine.
Okay, and then I'll rephrase and ask the mom in a moment. Now, are you in agreement or disagreement with the amount of retroactive child support at the $36,920?
Disagreement.
And what is the basis for your disagreement?
Because I've taken care of my children, so I'm in disagreement with that. Especially from the moment that Zuri was born, I'm in disagreement with that. I'm in agreement with the child support thing, but no retro.
So when you say you take care of your children, what does that mean?
That means in 2019, Ashley was receiving $1,000 a month from me.
Okay, so let me back it. The pursuant to the exhibit, child
Mhm.
support started being calculated, it looks like starting for 8 months in 2020. So we're not talking about 2019.
Okay, so but even in that, we go back and forth. When she called me when she needs money, I send it to her. This has been basically relationship issues. There ain't been no issues with the children. You know what I'm saying?
So from the time you left till now, how much money can you prove you've given to the mom for the children?
I have to go through my cash apps or my Zales. I don't know exactly.
So can you have an idea? Do you have a number you can tell me?
Maybe 12, 13,000 or something.
All right. Let me look at something else. Okay. So any amount of back child support, you're asking the judge to take off at least 12,000?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Nothing. Oh, no, real quick. I'm sorry. Were you arrested in front of the children?
Never.
All right. Have you been arrested?
Yes,
And was that in Louisiana or Texas?
I was in Louisiana.
Do you have any pending criminal charges?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you mind saying what that arrest was for?
I had like what is it? Simple battery. It was resolved, so
Okay. Was it dismissed or was there like
it was dismissed.
okay, and
Simple battery sounds like you hit somebody. What
No,
happened?
I didn't hit anybody. I was arrested from hearsay. So when I went to court, the other party never showed up to court. So it was.
okay, and that was in Louisiana?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the other party a girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
And after that alleged incident, did you stay in a relationship with that person?
I wasn't even in a relationship with him then. But no, ma'am. That actually happened years ago. So
Okay. I'm sorry.
When was the arrest? What time frame are we talking?
I was arrested. Not this summer, but last summer before last.
So 2022?
Yes,
Three.
ma'am. No, is that? Oh, that's
This one
20.
was 2024.
Okay, yeah, 2023. I'm sorry.
Okay, it was 2023. And I'm sorry, because you faded out. What was the charge?
Simple battery.
Okay, and that was in Louisiana. Okay. And when did the alleged incident for that charge occur? Does that make sense?
That was in 2019, I think. 2019.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. So there had been a complaint by a former girlfriend, sounds like in 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
And then in 2023 is when they finally showed up and said, hey, we have this complaint or something.
No, they didn't show up. I was pulled over. I didn't even know that it was a complaint.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
got pulled over for like a traffic stop.
okay. And it was just a pending complaint or an arrest
Yes,
warrant or a pending complaint?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then you went to court and it was, as you say, dismissed.
Yes,
If she-
ma'am.
Okay, understood. Thank you. And is that the only time you've been arrested?
Where are we going with this? I've been arrested several times.
Okay, let me rephrase. The last 4 years. The last
No,
4
ma'am.
years.
No, ma'am. I
That's
got
it.
arrested. I was arrested when I came to Texas City when she called the police.
Okay, okay. But that's it. I just want to know the last 4 years.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's
ma'am.
it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. I do not back off simply because he said that, man. Ms. Hernandez, like I'm ruling on your visitation with your children. These are serious issues and serious allegations. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone or do anything, but I do need to know what's actually going on and the
Yes,
type of
ma'am.
people I'm dealing with.
Okay, no, I understand. I don't want to go past the 10-year rule. So your youngest child is born August 11, 2017. Since since the child was born till now, other than these 2 arrests, have you been arrested?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then prior to the birth of your oldest child, had you been arrested?
Yes, ma'am. You said prior to. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when was that?
2005.
Okay, and do you recall what that was for?
Yes, ma'am. Possession with intent to distribute cocaine.
Okay, and how was that resolved?
Probation.
All right, and did you complete probation?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long was probation?
2 years.
Okay, and has that been it as far as arrests and probations or convictions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Have you ever had any CPS cases against you?
No, ma'am.
All right. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Sir, how far do you live from Orange, Texas?
I live about 2.5 hours.
And why did you move to Orange? Why did you move to where you are in Louisiana?
Our marriage wasn't working. I wasn't able to find work. So I came back to where my support system was.
The state doesn't represent either of you, so I'm going to give you both a chance to say anything additional you think I need to hear. I will let you all know I'm thinking of doing a temporary order. The state is requesting a large amount of back child support. He's claiming a large amount was paid. I believe that needs more time to give you time to look for what actually did get paid and what was going on all that time, as well as the fact I would like both of you to take a parenting class. I think it would help both of you. And I think you all might need some time to kind of see how this all goes as well with some structure. That all being said, I still want to hear if there's anything additional you think I need to hear. So Ms. Arsenault, I guess I'll start with you. Is there anything additional you think I need to hear?
I don't feel like I need to drive to Orange to drop and deliver in that part. I have done above and beyond on that part. I feel like no, I shouldn't have to drive that far. We reside here. We go to school here. We get up and go to school from here. I work at their school. So therefore, the last time I did try to go that far, we didn't get home until almost 9, 10 o'clock at night. and I was rough getting up the next morning to go to school. So I think it's only fair that just because he moved over that far, he needs to come this way to come pick them up.
Sir, is there anything additional you'd like to say?
Yeah, I have a lot to say. First of all, I'll address that, what she said. If I could drive 2.5, you can drive 2.5. They're just as much my kids as they are yours. I've drove to Texas City several times, and when I get there, she won't let me see him because of how she feels about me. That's fine. Let's set our feelings for each other aside. You know what I'm saying? I just want to spend time with my children. I came there several times. That time in particular that she called the police, we already agreed for me to get them. We got into it because she didn't agree to meet me in Orange. I haven't seen my children or spent time with them in months. Every time she feel like she get an attitude with me, she cuts off all communication with me and she don't even let me talk to them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like every other weekend, I move my mom here with me to help me with them as well. Every other weekend, half the summer, I feel like I deserve that. I feel like that's standard. If we both can put our feelings, differences aside and just think about the children. That's all. That's where I'm at with it.
And the children were conceived here in Texas?
Yes, ma'am. I do have one other thing. I do have our oldest in counseling as well right now because of some stuff that's going on. And I'm just speaking from what she's told me verbally. She's uncomfortable. So I would like if we can get a psychologist or something to come in and talk to the 7-year-old, do the child play with her so that she can explain what she's saying.
That's because you pushing your emotional
Sir,
issues.
sir, you're interrupting.
I'm
That's
sorry.
improper and it's rude.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Arsenault?
That I'm speaking that because I didn't really want to put her in counseling. The counselor came to me and she wanted to eat lunch with her. So I did allow that to happen. And that's when the counselor came out and said, hey, I think we need to try. I said, okay, I'll fill out the paperwork because I had already felt it. And it's becoming an emotional drain, not just on myself. And myself is more or less of just picking up for my children. As far as some of the other stuff that he came up with, I've driven to Iowa to allow him to see the kids. I've actually went down there this year in March to let him see the kids. So I do all the driving and go above and beyond as well myself. Financially wise, he only buys materialistic things and do a birthday, whatever. But financially on a daily basis, no, I'm sorry. I can't agree to anything as far as that.
I'm not ruling on that today, ma'am. So you can all come with proof of anything you've bought, paid for, given, or not.
Okay. I pretty much have a lot of my stuff already ready.
Can I talk?
Briefly, sir.
Okay, I'm not even worried about the money if that's the issue. She can have that. I just want to be able to have access to my children and spend time with them. What it was, 2 weeks ago, she let me talk to my daughter. My daughter begged her for her to let her see me. I don't. If your child comes to you and tells you, "Mommy, I haven't seen Daddy in so long. I really miss my dad. Can we go see him, please?" After that point, she cut off all communication with me. You know what I'm saying? She felt like I was using, or I was asking to see the kids in front of the kids, if that makes sense. So I don't. As far okay, you know what? I'll back it up. I don't even care about the money. She could whatever number that you give me, that's fine. If you want to do the retro thing, I'll agree to it. I'll agree to it. I just want to be able to have visitation to my children. I can't hear no.
Sir, what days do you typically work?
I work from Monday to Friday.
So you're off on the weekends?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any family or friends here in Texas City?
I have some family, some friends.
Would you be able to stay with those people?
No, ma'am. I can't hear anything.
I'm not thinking.
Oh, okay.
I don't think people realize when they come in with polar opposite proposals, and a lot long distances between them, inabilities to stay overnight nearby. It's just a lot of blocks I have to work around to make something reasonable that works for everybody. You know, if I had cases where people had abilities to do more, it would make visitation schedules a lot easier. Do you have the funds to stay overnight in a hotel in Texas City? Let's go there.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I work in Lake Charles, so I don't have an issue with picking them up in Orange and bringing them back to Orange every weekend, the weekend that I have. Like I don't.
And you all live over 100 miles apart?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm appointing, Ms. Arsenault, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm appointing Ms. Arsenault, the managing conservator, and Mr. James, the possessory conservator, no residency restriction. And finding there is jurisdiction over Mr. James. There is long-arm jurisdiction in that the children were conceived in Texas. I'm approving the agreements regarding current child support and medical support beginning December 1st of 2024. I'm ordering that the parties take a parenting class. And if you can attach, I don't know if CC1 has parenting classes, you can attach theirs. If not, you can use 306 ones.
Yes.
I'm ordering an injunction against both parties. Nobody should be discussing this case with the children, and the certificates should be provided to the AG's office before the next trial. I'm granting the non-disclosure and ordering the parties communicate through outflows. And for visitation, I'm ordering 10 visits in Texas City. And they can be on the first, third, and fifth Saturday of the month to be held in Texas City with an exchange at the police station in Texas City. That is Ms. Hernandez.
Yes, Your Honor. I have the address.
I'm not doing that. She could have whatever. I'm not exchanging my kids in the police station. This
Okay,
what you
well,
want?
this is a temporary order, sir. This is to just get things started. We can address all of these issues again at final trial and see how this goes. So after those 10 visits, if he succeeds and successfully does those 10 visits, at that point, I'm ordering just the beginning part of the standard possession order for over 100 miles. So the up to 1 weekend per month where he has to give 14 days written notice. And that 14 days written notice has to be on app close. And those exchanges will be at the Mount Bellevue Police Station in Liberty County. And it's just that first part, because this is a temporary order. So we're just starting with the 1 weekend per month per the standard possession order for over 100 miles. And I'm also ordering that Mr. James have FaceTime visits with the children on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Can we push it back, because at those times I'm actually not at home. I don't have a problem with them having
What else you want?
FaceTime visits.
What
but can we
time
push
do you
the time
propose?
back? We would have to do it about 8 o'clock is when we get home, when we're
Eight.
finished doing our stuff throughout the day.
So basically, I won't give my kids for Christmas. I won't see my kids for holiday, right? You get what you want and I get nothing.
Sir, that is your interpretation.
It is. It's the truth.
Okay. well,
Objection,
sir,
unresponsive.
there's no questions being asked right now. Sir, let me finish. So I'm going to give you Tuesdays and Thursdays FaceTime from 8 to 8:30. And the AG's off. Let's see when we can do final trial, Ms. Hernandez, and then we'll do the rest.
Yes. Do you want to come back in 90 days?
That's fine.
Okay, Your Honor, I have March 31st, either 8:30 or 11:30 on Zoom. Are both of y'all available March 31st at 8:30 or 11:30? It's a Monday.
I'm back at work, but I can make it happen. I'll take a half a day if I need to.
Are you available, Mr. James, March 31st on Zoom?
I will be.
Okay, do y'all want 11:30 or 8:30?
I think we should do 8:30.
8:30 is fine.
Okay, well, 8:30, Your Honor. So March 31st at 8:30 on Zoom for final orders.
And the state is going to draft up these temporary orders and submit them to you to review and sign off on. You are both free to consult lawyers. A lot of serious issues did come up during this hearing. The state does not represent either of you. I'm here to just hear evidence and make a ruling. I don't represent anybody. And so you might want to consult lawyers who can better
Yes.
address concerns you have. And we'll see how things are going at the next setting.
I want to get an understanding on whatever your ruling was. You said the first and the third weekend? First and third
I
weekend?
said
or
first, third, and fifth Saturdays of the month. There's not always a fifth Saturday.
So I get to see them for a couple of hours. I drive 4 hours to see them for a couple of hours. That's what this is?
It's just for the first 10, sir. Based on the evidence presented to me, I believe this is in the children's best interest. As I said, Ms. Hernandez is going to draft the order, and I'm going to stop the recording right now. Thank you both, and happy holidays.
Thank you, Your Honor.